Hey guys, I don't have many people to talk about this stuff with because I'm supposed to be the man of the house, but it's all boiling inside me and I think I'll explode if I don't simply share my story. This might be the only place where I can tell my side of it without my mother twisting the tale. I'm 25, I'm male, and I'm the sole earner in my household. I used to live with my mom Karen, yes, that's her real name, and my younger sister Molly in our childhood home. At least it used to be our home, but ever since father passed away, it's been nothing but an empty house with nothing but zombies. As far as I remember, before his death, 10 years ago, everything was fine. We used to be a very happy family. My father used to go to work every morning while my mother used to cook us all sorts of meals when we returned from school. We used to take occasional vacations and live a decent life, money-wise. But then my father, he passed away in an accident, and my life, it flipped 180 degrees. We no longer had a steady income. Dad's insurance was not enough for us to live comfortably for long. In the beginning, my mother tried to pick up the slack, but she was unable to get a good job because she was a high school dropout. When she and father were married, the maximum she could do was get a waitressing job, but that didn't pay too well, and we simply needed more money. My paternal family is not very close to us, so help was scarce from them, but my maternal family pitched in from time to time. But that was not enough to live a life for 3, so I picked up the rest of the burden. I was always good at math, so I started tutoring kids in my school and also took on a small job at the local grocer. I was not earning much, but it was enough for us to keep afloat. And with my father's insurance, we were able to pay the mortgage. Life was not good. It was adjustable, though. I was overworking to the point that I was working from 6 a.m. to 11 at night, and then would also do my homework after. I was barely operating on a 4-hour sleep every day, and would literally pass out the whole Sunday. And even then, I had to fill my dad's shoes and take my sister out for her cheerleading practice. And as soon as I turned 18 and graduated high school, my dad's insurance had run out and we were on the brink of losing everything. I remember applying for college when all my friends were going. I didn't even tell my mom and sister because deep down I knew that they would not let me leave. I was young, I was stupid, and my plan, it was to get accepted with a scholarship and move a bit away from my home. Not too far so I can still visit every other weekend maybe, but still far enough that I can have my own life, free. But as expected, everything exploded when my mother saw the pamphlets and acceptance letter. She barged into my room and started hysterically crying. I was already tired of my shift and was too tired to comprehend what's going on. She started calling me names and brought up Dad again, saying that I was the man of the house and I could not abandon them like him. From that day on, my mom controlled everything, from emails to letters, and yes, I mean everything. It was read by her first, and it was acceptable or not, then it was given to me. Well, I just accepted my new life, where I was the provider. Since I was of legal age, I got a better paying job at an office as a receptionist while I got a promotion at the grocery store. And, well, that was what I did for 2 years. I would clock in from my office job in a suit and tie and then go straight to the grocer, just to manage everything and close up for the night. I didn't get a day off for those entire 2 years? I didn't date. All my friends outgrew me and did not have time to make new ones. I was what they would call miserable and overworked. Anyways, that was kind of a low point in my life, but still was not what I would say rock bottom. All my earnings, it used to go to my mom's account because she just feared that I would run away one day. I never indicated or even set a foot outside my town in the past 5 years, so her thinking that I'd run away was a stretch. I never asked for money for myself. I used to wear hand-me-downs and my father's old clothing because I didn't have enough money to buy good stuff for myself. The last time I ate a cake on my birthday was at 15 when my dad was still alive. And that last time I got a gift, it was my 18th birthday when my mother gave me my father's old shoes, because mine had worn out. My mother's family didn't even bother to come to my birthday party. Well, calling it a party would be a stretch. My mother brought 2 cupcakes and I had to keep mine for lunch the next day. But you see, my sister had a different life. Some of the activities were paid for by my mother's family because she was the baby of the house. She got new stuff every now and then, and my aunt used to take her out all the time for a girls' day. She's never missed her birthday, ever. In fact, we actually used to hold these theme parties every year for her. And guess who had to foot the bill? On her sweet 16, she wanted to go all out and call a band to perform, and my mother had to sell my Pokemon card collection to pay for the party. I was almost legal then and was hoping to apply for colleges and did not even care about the cards anymore, to be honest. I just wanted it to be over. And the pathetic part was she never appreciated me. Well, I busted my butt to provide for her extra coaching classes. See, she had ballet, cheerleading, and also dance classes, and after a while, I was the one paying for all of that stuff. She was spoiled, unlimited, by the family and my money, while I had to live barely on scraps. And I was never appreciated. Her behavior went from moody to complete disastrous. She used to talk to me at first like every sibling duo, but soon that turned into bullying. That day, when my mom came to scream at me about applying to colleges, and I had my first panic attack, she was there. She saw everything. I saw her looking at me, and she did not once try to comfort me. Instead, she saw me with hatred as if I was the villain in her story. Such a sorry, entitled, and mean woman. Once she stole the cash I'd saved for myself to buy herself a new makeup kit. It was $120 only. But for me, at the time, it was better than gold. And when I told my mother, she just berated me for even accusing her little baby. Yeah, well, my life was like Cinderella, except there was no witch for whatever magic that she does. Anyways, during this, one of my paternal aunts died, and we got to know from a lawyer-type person that she had left something for us. We were surprised because we were never close to them. Molly and Mom inherited a few pieces of jewelry, and they were happy with it. While I got an estate back in her home state as a rental, and truth be told, I knew that it was a huge thing. My life was ultimately set, and if I wanted, I could have left my job and sold the property then paid for my tuition to live a comfortable life. But that didn't happen, because I was not allowed to sell it. At first, I did not want to because the income I was getting looked like free money. And I liked earning that cash, but before the bucks could even hit my bank account, my mom would take them from me just like that. In the beginning, the cash was used for repairs, which I could not do by hand. And when these were finally done, my mom just took the rest of it, and did whatever the heck she wanted to do with it. I was 20 and was already starting a more professional office job and did not have time to oversee what was happening. I was just glad that my mom was not hovering over my shoulders and my head for all of my salary, finally. Well, even that wasn't enough, I guess. My sister was insanely jealous. That I had more money than her, and my mother was envious because she could not control it. Now, it all comes to a few months ago when my mom and sister pushed me absolutely beyond my limits. So, as always, I was minding my own business and barely living when I used my card at the store and it declined. I was just paid, so I thought, oh no, this must be an error. But as it turns out, my sister took my card info and maxed it out. I confronted her and asked her to pay me back or else I would call the cops on her. She said I was bluffing and did not have the guts to do it, but our mother intervened and tore me a new one for punishing my pregnant sister. I knew that she was dating some loser, but I didn't know that she was pregnant. And to top it all off, they were getting married and she needed my money to get herself a wedding dress. Instead of stopping my sister, my mom blamed me because if I had sold that estate, then we would have had money to have a proper wedding. You know, I'm kinda sorry for the visual, but I wanted to rip my hair out due to the stress. I operated on autopilot and let my body do what was best for me. I don't know how I got the audacity, but I started applying for jobs far away from my hometown. All of my offer letters were delivered at the grocery store because I learned from the last time what my mother was capable of doing. Soon enough, I had a job I really liked and started looking for places in 3 towns over. I knew it was a rebellion, but I would be lying if I said it didn't feel peaceful. Well, guys, within a month, everything was set up and I withdrew most of the money from my and my mother's joint account, and luckily she did not even notice. Then I just stashed everything I owned in a duffel bag and left for the night. I didn't leave a note or a letter about any of my frustrations because I didn't want to stay. I crashed at a motel that night and then left the town the next day. I'm now 3 towns away and have informed the police that I left on my own free will. I also called renters and informed them of my decision. I still have left my mother some money, but she has enough in her bank account to pay for her groceries and mortgage for a month or more, so she'll be fine for the time being if she plays her cards right. I don't know about my sister, but I guess that they're both adults that can figure it out for themselves. My mother and sister are blocked from everywhere now, but I did read a few messages my mom sent me and it was all fake, crocodile tears, but soon enough her begging turned into anger and then she started name-calling. And ever since I read that I'm regretting my decision, no matter what they did, deep down I still love my mom and sister. They're the only family I have left, and to think that I abandoned them like this. My mother has issues walking up the stairs, so for the past few months I've been helping her get up and down. Now, sitting here in this cold, damp, empty room, all I can think about is how she's managing. My sister has trouble driving and I drove her from place to place. I'm just worried about how they would keep up without me. I know, it's all a mess. I miss them in spite of how harsh they were towards me. I don't know what to feel right now. I want to go back, but I also want to see what living alone feels like. Anyways, I know you will all think that I'm a horrible person, and I know that. Maybe if I apologize to them, they'll take me back. I don't know what to do. This is why I'm here. What do you guys think? Did I do the right thing leaving my house and shifting here, or should I feel guilty for abandoning my family like that? Update number 1. Hey guys. Well, the supposed peace, it lasted for a week. I made my last post 5 days ago, and honestly, apart from the silence, I hated everything. At first, I felt crappy leaving my family like that, but I don't know anymore. For the past 5 days, I've been receiving spam calls and texts from unknown numbers. And to top it off, my relatives, mom's side, are berating me as well. I was a lonely kid at the family gatherings before, but now all of a sudden I'm in this spotlight where my aunts are making Facebook posts about me. I only know it because they keep tagging me in comments which take their side. Not gonna lie, I don't have thick skin. I get affected by things others say, and my mother knows that. All these fake posts and texts are affecting my mental health. I had breakdown after coming across another post about me. It was from Molly. She claimed that I had anger issues and would abuse her and my mother on a daily basis. That despite working, I never gave them any money and they had to beg from our aunts for stuff. And that when she announced that she was pregnant, I asked her to move out because I didn't want to deal with the baby. Every word she said there was a lie. And the comments on them were equally horrible, guys. All the extended family has started a literal hashtag shaming me on all the random Facebook and Instagram pages. A few of my buddies from high school texted me to ask what the hell's going on, while others would spam my DMs calling me useless. You know, even when I was broke, my reputation was all that I had. My mother and sister didn't realize it, but for what I did, I was appreciated by the people outside, and I loved holding on to it because it was mine. But now, everybody has just completely turned their backs against me, I guess you could say. So I had another panic attack. After reading everything that they all thought about me. They all believe that I'm an evil monster who ruined their life, and it's like they have given a verdict without even listening to my side of the story, guys. So I broke no contact and texted my sister. I now know it was stupid, but I asked her to take down the post because it was a lie. She refused, and said that there was nothing but the truth inside that post. I know that she was gaslighting me, but still. I took the bait and let her pour it on me. I felt like I deserved it for running away. My mother later called me, but she was different. She was crying and asking me to come back home. She even apologized to me over and over again and said that she did not mean the years and years of abuse that she gave me. Well, she said she was under a lot of stress after Dad's death and she just felt alone. I know what you all think, but I said I forgave her on the spot like the naive guy that I am, and I wanted to feel loved again, and when my mother, the one who actually loved me 10 years ago, came back, I jumped on the opportunity to be her son again. She forced Molly to take down the post and then suddenly started posting about giving our family some privacy when we were going through such a hard time. She asked me to come back home, but I refused and said I needed some time to work on myself before I could even think about coming back. She was hesitant but agreed and said, well, when I'll come back, there'd be a home ready for me. I'm not one of those guys who are overly emotional and crap, but I legit had tears in my eyes when she said it, guys. It was all I ever wanted. I just wanted to be seen, loved, and appreciated by her. I didn't want to be a hero, but I wanted to be a shoulder and a backbone to my sister and to help my mom, but they never gave me a chance for that. I thought I would never be loved like that again, but I guess I was wrong. If this distance was made my mom realizing, then it's made me realize too. There are family, and someone here said that no matter what the situation gets, a man does not run away from his family. I have not disclosed my location yet because I like my peace of mind right now. I'm still playing with my guard up, but today my sister texted me an ultrasound for the baby. I'm gonna have a niece, so that's cool. Anyways, things are looking nice for the time being, and contrary to what you guys said, I want to move back in with them. I just need to give, my 2-week notice, and then I'll be on my way home. So, thank you and cheers. Updates number 2. Hey guys, well, it's me again, and yes, it's actually been a few months at this point. I thought the drama was concluded, but my life, it just keeps on going. Life is giving you plenty. Have you ever looked at a person you knew was about to make a mistake, but you can't stop him because he was a thick brain? Yeah, that's me. I'm the idiot who, despite being a victim of manipulation all my life, can't still understand the type of people he was dealing with. Everything was going well with my mother and sister. We had low contact and it was on my terms. For the first few weeks or so, my mother and Molly's behavior was okay with me. Molly took down all the Facebook posts, and I even received a few half-butted apologies from my relatives. But then, as the mortgage payment was coming really soon, I noticed their behavior changed. Molly started becoming short with me, and my mother was always talking about managing the house without me. It was as if they were becoming those same people again. I guess it's just true. People don't change because a day before the payment deadline, my mother straight up asked me when I was paying the bill. I wasn't surprised because deep down I saw it coming a mile away. Yet I couldn't believe that she was asking me again. I straight up refused, and the next thing I knew I was treated like the villain again. Facebook post made up, my mother started calling me names. Molly blocked me, but not before telling me that my niece does not have an uncle anymore. And my aunt started threatening me again. It was the same situation all over, but this time I did not let them dictate my life. I blocked them, deleted every bit of social media platform that they were on, but that was not enough because somehow my mother found me and took the liberty to visit. And it was not a good family reunion. It was a morning time and she starts to bang on my door like hell. Before I could even open it, she was screaming at me and tried to push it open forcefully. I heard that my neighbor tried to stop her and threatened to call the police on her for making such a ruckus. But I didn't want my mother to go to jail, so I caved in and opened the door. She looked like a mess, as if she was not sleeping for the last few days. I asked her to leave and we could meet at a public place later, but she just refused and said, I will only leave if you leave me back my money. Yep, according to her, whatever I earned was still her money. Ugh. I lost it and poured it out on her. I screamed at her about everything that she did with me, from the financial abuse, thanks to the guy who pointed it out, to the emotional and borderline physical torture I endured inside that house. I was miserable for a decade while providing for them. I stopped living my life just so my mother and sister could love theirs. I wasn't even done and the cops came because of all the shouting and escorting my mother out of the property. Unfortunately for her, she punched an officer in the face and was arrested, while I was watching from afar. Yet all the time she kept on blaming me, and she told every one of my neighbors that I was a leech and no man like my father because I left my family in straight-up poverty. Well, I guess you could say, unfortunately for her, she punched an officer, right? And I knew it shouldn't matter, but I could feel their eyes on me. They were judging me and my choices, and I was again the convict in their eyes, and all I could do was hide inside of my apartment, nothing more. I knew that my mother was not in a good place, so I called my sister and informed her. She was arrested. Again, she laid it out on me and said that she could not travel because of the baby. Well, mind you, she's 4 months pregnant and recently went on a trip to Disneyland with her fiancé. I called her out on it and she starts giving me excuse after excuse why she can go to an amusement park but she can't bail out her mom. I knew she was no help, so I unblocked my aunt and informed them of the arrest, and then blocked them again. I then went to work because what was I supposed to do, guys? She came in here to drag me down with her and instead is now stuck at the police station. It's not my fault. She can't keep her hands to herself, and my duty was to inform my relatives, and I did that. Now, whatever to her is up to the people who encourage her behavior. I don't know, though. Let me ask you this. Do you think that I should just forgive them all, give them another chance, and just see where we can go? Should I bail my mother out of jail?